My name is Cassy Summers. Welcome to the Curious Universe podcast. Welcome to the show. Today I wanted to explore with you the topic of beauty and another kind of beauty. This is a topic that can bring up a lot for people, and we have a lot of judgments about what beauty is. But I'm curious to know, what is beauty to you? Beautiful body, a beautiful soul, a beautiful landscape, a beautiful moment. What do you know about beauty? Now, let's just look at the body for a minute. We're kind of conditioned to think that there's like a standard, a beauty standard, right? There's this particular form of body, particular way a body should show up, and it can be different depending on the culture. So some cultures, like in North America, were very much like the Barbie doll, right? So for a woman, the skinny woman with, large, perfectly shaped breasts, a long hair, and very, very feminine. That's like the beauty standard. And so what we do is we compare ourselves to that standard. It's like our barometer. So if we're far, far off that beauty standard, then we're judging ourselves as not beautiful. If we're closer, then we feel better. We go to achieve it. Yet, if we're not bang on, then there's that constant judgment that I'm not like one of those girls. I'm not like that. Now, it's not just women. There's men beauty standards. Of course, it's like the perfect six-pack and like it's like the Ken doll. But I've heard about other cultures where it's like, big round butts and like, a skinny Barbie doll would be completely unappreciated. And so whatever that cultural beauty standard is, what if we really acknowledge for a moment it's manufactured? It's just a manufactured concept, and we all aligned and agreed with it, and then it became reality. So when two or more people align and agree, it becomes reality, and we have millions of people aligning and agreeing with like the beauty standard. So where have you aligned and agreed with the beauty standard? Where have you resisted and reacted to the beauty standard? Resistance and reaction is not freedom. To resist and react, you have to actually first align and agree so that you can resist and react. So what beauty standard are you aligning and agreeing with, or resisting and reacting to? And would you be willing to destroy and create all of that and actually set your beauty free? Anything that doesn't allow that, let's destroy it and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all name, shorts, voice, bubbles, and beyond. So if you're new to the show, that was the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. I use it most shows. We always have a link in the description to theclearingstatement.com if you want more information on that. It's just essentially a magic wand we use to clear out energy. Okay, so back to the beauty standards. I, a couple years ago, I started to grow out my hair, but I had a mohawk for a good 7 years. And it was interesting what that aesthetic would create for people. The judgments they would have of me, the presumptions they would have of me. Sometimes they were positive judgments and sometimes they were negative judgments, but they were all judgments, and all judgments are lies, and all judgments are limitations. So I had to really look at what is beauty to me? What is a beautiful body to me? Not from this beauty standard that's been like spoon fed to me my whole life, not from all my presumptive realities of like, well, you know, if I don't look a certain way, then people won't be attracted to me. You know, I won't have sexual partners. I won't be accepted, like all those things, right? All those things. My business won't thrive if I don't look professional or look a certain way. And for me, it was quite a letting go and freeing myself of the beauty standards, because I tried very hard to, to match the beauty standard in the best way that I could, given like the genetics that I had, the body structure that I already had. And so I worked really hard at that for a really long time and always found myself failing. So then I went into learning the tools of Access Consciousness, and all the work that they have with bodies got me to look at my body completely different, for one, but also in a creative aspect with it, and really looking at like, what can I create with my body? And what beauty can I create with my body? That's a good question, isn't it? What beauty can you create with your body? Now, that again, it's not from looking at the beauty standard, but looking at what's beautiful to you. So I love interior design. Like that's what I thought I was going to be. I was an interior designer. So I love homes. I love, watching like those transformations, like those before and afters. I even love watching shows where they're just organizing closets. I love it so much. And, but what's so cool is you see these totally different styles, like these different aesthetics, and someone will come home and they'll be like in tears and they're like, oh my God, I love it so much. And I will look and I can appreciate, like that's cool, but it's not necessarily beautiful to me. Like the home, I'm like, yeah, that really suits their kind of beauty. But I wouldn't love living there. It wouldn't be beautiful to me. Because what if we have different perceptions of beauty? What if we can have our own preferences with beauty that aren't based on standards or judgments, but based on the awareness of what's just true for us? Like everyone has a favorite color or a favorite few colors. It's not like there's a right or wrong color to love. It's just like, oh my God, I love blue. I love blue. I just do. That doesn't make me right or wrong. It's, I love blue. That is what is beautiful to me. So when I started to look at that and I started to ask, what is my kind of beauty, and asking my body, because, we're doing body communication and okay, body, what beauty can we create? And that's different than anyone else, because we are different. I have, as much as like I have, I have the genes from my parents, So I'll have elements like the fine hair that my father had, and like, you know, this thing that my mom had, whatever. But we're not actually confined to DNA. And I talked a lot in another episode about like the magic of bodies. So that's kind of getting a little bit more into that. Like we can actually create anything with our bodies. I have like gotten taller as an adult when you're not supposed to get taller anymore, right? I feel like I look younger now than I did 7 years ago. We are not, we're only subject to the rules and regulations of embodiment of this reality if we align and agree with the rules and the regulations and the orders of embodiment with this reality. So if you go, yes, these are the rules, these are the orders, this is what has to happen, then you are correct. That's exactly what will happen. If you go into resistance of it, well, I'm not going to age, I'm not going to do that. Again, you've already aligned and agreed with it. So you're just going to have a nice little battle about it. But if you are this total space of interesting point of view, and that's how you get out of alignment and agreement, resistance to reaction. So you're like alignment and agreement, resistance and reaction, and you kind of go between this thing. Interesting point of view is like beyond. It's like up here. It's just total allowance for all of the insanity, total allowance for the insanity of the beauty standard, and all the expectations around it, and what the agendas behind beauty standards. Like, oh, right, wrong, good, bad, insurance, boys, moments, and beyonds. Yeah. But that space of interesting point of view is like, oh, that's just an interesting point of view. And what am I aware of? And what are my body and I capable of creating? And that's the same with aging. That's the same with genetics, genes, like all that stuff. A lot of people will be like, oh, this, runs in the family. What if you weren't subject to that? Okay, cool. So like a bunch of people in your family chose that. What would you like to create with your body? So back to beauty for a few. What beauty can you create with your body that maybe no one else can create? Oh, yeah. That's another kind of beauty. I always love watching like those kind of sci-fi movies where people will look totally different. Like maybe they have like blue skin, or like I was watching this one and everyone was bald, so they had no hair. And they almost looked like aqua people. But there was like these pearls on the beach, and they loved so they're almost like opalescent, like pearly, like skin. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like I would totally do that. Like, how different can we be? Now, some of you are like, maybe I don't want to look like an alien. That's totally cool. It's fine. That's not your idea of beauty. But what is your idea of beauty? Like for me, it's like, I like a shaped head. I know it's weird, but I do. It's so beautiful to me. And it might not always, it might shift and change. Maybe one day I'll like grow all the hair out, and maybe one day I'll have a mohawk again. I don't know. Maybe I'll shave all of it. I remember being a kid, and Sinead O'Connor was like the brave woman that shaved her head, and it was shocking to everyone. And I remember looking at her and being like, oh, God, she's so beautiful. So however you create your body, the physical structure of it, the clothing that you dress it with, the way you do your hair, makeup, no makeup, piercings, no piercings, like whatever that is, what if it is beautiful for you? And what if you never had to live up to any beauty standard? Because here's the thing is when you are congruent with your body, you, this infinite being that is way bigger than anybody ever could be. Okay. And you're congruent with your body's within you. And in this communion, in this creation of what's possible with beauty, you will become irresistible You will. You become irresistible to those that can acknowledge the beauty of you, and even to those that don't. It's very interesting because my expectation was that it would have been the opposite, is that if you have like a mohawk, you're going to attract, like, I don't know, bikers, or like heavy metal people. I don't know. Like, and it's been incredible, actually, the type of people I've attracted with the beauty that I've created with my body has been all sorts, completely unexpected. And so anywhere that you have that fear of rejection for beauty, the beauty that you would like to create, or outcast, or judgment, would you be willing to just train and create all of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys, pull bads, and beyonds. You're going to get judged anyways. You might be a positive judgment, which we've decided is like less evil for some reason, but it's still just judgment sticking to you. Or you're going to get negative judgments no matter what. And no matter like where you go, it's going to be variations of them depending on the beauty standards in the world, right? But if you let that run your life and you let that dictate what you create with your body, you're not having the fullness of the joy of embodiment that you could be having. Yeah. Because what if you can actually enjoy your body? Like, really enjoy it. What if when you look in the mirror, you're like, oh my God, I'm so beautiful. I love looking at myself, like completely naked in all your glory. What if you could receive people's adoration for the beauty of you and the beauty of your body? What if you could create something so spectacular and just enjoy every moment of your embodiment? So would you explore a little bit more of what is beauty to you? What kind of beauty would you like to create with your body? And that doesn't mean everyone needs to go shave their head or dye it pink. Like, you might actually have the Barbie standard. There's actually this Russian woman I follow on YouTube, and she does workouts, and I love her dance workouts. And she literally looks like a real life Barbie. She's gorgeous, and I adore her, and it matches. It just matches who she is. But that doesn't match me. I'm definitely not that. And for the first time in my life, that's not wrong to me. It's not wrong to not have that, to not be like that, to not look like that. I'm actually grateful that I don't, because it doesn't match my being, and it doesn't match what I want to create in the world with my beauty. So when you look at going back to those spaces, right? Because it's easier to sometimes if you use an example outside of embodiment. So if I look at creating a beautiful home, a beautiful office, if I look at creating a beautiful garden, you're using elements to create a certain, like, different energies, right? So if I wanted like a reading nook, I would, like, what fabrics would you use? What would the lighting be like? What would the comfort level like? So would you want it like really, really comfortable so that you could just melt it and like read a whole book in one afternoon, you know? Would you have a view, or would it be like a little bit more cut off? Like, you got to at least, so you look at that and you're shaping, you're using these elements, this matter, to shape and create a certain energy, right? And that's actually what you're doing with your beauty. You're actually creating something with it. So if you're going to say you're going to go to go work with kids, right? You might choose to have an aesthetic that's really like calming to them or pleasing to them or exciting to them, right? Like whatever you want to create with it, whatever that beauty is for you. Not that you have to like disappear all your sexualness or let go of any of that stuff. But what are you creating with your beauty in that moment? Or you're going on a date with your partner or a date with someone new. Like, what are you creating with your beauty there? Are you trying to elicit a sense of like sexualness and lust? Are you looking more for that connection? And before you get to the lust, like it is this fun playground. And your beauty is, something so unique that only you can actually be, because you might have siblings or people that look very similar to you, like similar structures, similar DNA, but the infinite being that occupies the body there is no one else like that. And so like that communion, that co-creation is unique unto itself. It cannot be replicated ever, no matter what. So your beauty, you can never perfectly duplicate someone else's beauty. And what if you didn't even target that ever again? What if you really looked at what is beautiful to you that might be completely bizarro and different, but not from rejecting beauty standards, not from the fight, but from the creation, from the joy of embodiment. I hope this was a contribution. I think there was some rambling in this episode, but the bodies wanted to hear it, so I went with it. Thank you so much for being here. I love reading your comments and seeing what shows up for you, what you become aware of, and any topics you want to explore with me, let me know. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. Thank you for exploring the curious universe with me. Your curiosity matters. And what if together we could create a greater, more curious world?